أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. We mentioned last week that Brother Muhammad is going to come up to the front and give us Ashab al-Nisf, Ashab al-Rubu', Ashab al-Thumun, or Ashab al-Thuluthayn. I'll translate it into English. Those who are entitled to half, those who are entitled to a quarter, an eighth, and also 2/3. فليتفضل مشكورا مأجورا. لا لا لا. Sister said they want to hear it also. You complained last time round. They couldn't hear it.
Where do you want to start, Ustad?
Give me Ashab al-Nisf.
Ashab al-Nisf, so it's five people. The first one is the Zawj, the husband. On the condition that he takes Nisf, that there is no kids.
Good. So the first has?
The first is the Zawj on the condition that there's no kids. It's only one condition. The second is the daughter, and she takes Nisf on the.
So she's second in line. How many conditions?
2 conditions.
Good. How do you remember? How many conditions each one has?
So just +1 all the time.
Just +1 every time you go down the list.
No. So the condition is no brothers and no sisters. The third is the granddaughter. The granddaughter from the son.
Good.
From the son.
Excellent.
And she takes Nisf on 3 conditions. And the condition is that there's no brothers, no sisters, and also no one above her.
No one above her, who are known as the kids of the deceased.
No.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay. The fourth person is the full sister, and she takes Nisf on 4 conditions. So the previous one, she's no brothers, no sisters, no one above her, and also no father and no grandfather.
No father, وما طيب.
And the fifth one is the half sister from the father, and she has 5 conditions. No brothers. 5 conditions for her to take Nisf, which is no brothers, no sisters.
means half, yeah?
And no brothers, no sisters, no one above her.
No one above who? The Far' al-Warith.
No.
Who are the kids of the deceased.
Kids of the deceased. Subhanallah.
How many conditions you mentioned?
3.
3.
So
طيب.
2.
Remember what I always say.
No.
If there is someone, he kicks out all of the brothers and sisters. Who are they?
Father.
Excellent. The father.
No, father, no father. And also
father
her
kicks out all of the brothers and sisters.
No.
Yeah?
And the last condition is that her herself, she has no full brothers and sisters.
Her? Then you already mentioned that.
The deceased has no full.
هذا هو. Excellent. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Yeah? Who's entitled to a quota?
2 people.
Yeah.
The husband and the wife. The husband is entitled to a quota on the condition that there is kids.
There's a child in the equation.
There's a child in the equation.
Whose child?
His child.
His child? So let's just say, for example, now his wife passes away. She's the one that's passing away in order for him to take a quota, right?
No.
So you have a wife. Your wife passes away. Yeah, like you keep you guys together when you get married forever and ever. But let's just say now, you have a wife, she passes away. طيب. In order for you now to take a quota, what would have to happen?
She leaves behind kids.
Okay, kids from who?
I don't know what's that.
Any kid, whether it's from a previous husband or the husband before that, or so many other husbands that she's had in the past. If there is one kid that is alive when she passes away, he'll get a quota. Okay? Now let's just say, for example, you marry a sister that has been married a number of times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, which can happen. And she has one child with one of them. The moment she passes away and that child is alive, you get a quota. Simply because there is a child in the equation from her.
And the second is the wife. and she gets a quarter, ruba', on the condition that there's no kids.
Excellent. And this is both mentioned in the Quran. Right? What does Allah say? Give you guys a hint. 3rd page, Surah An-Nisa. Who's memorized the first couple of lines? Huh? وَلَكُمْ نِصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ أَزْوَاجُكُمْ إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُنَّ وَلَدٌ فَإِن كَانَ لَهُنَّ وَلَدٌ فَلَكُمْ الرُّبُعُ. You either take a half when there's no kids. There is a kid that she's left behind, you take what? A quarter. Allah is addressing the husband. واضح?
No.
And then he says وَلَهُنَّ الرُّبُعُ مِمَّا تَرَكْتُمْ إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَكُمْ وَلَدٌ فَإِن كَانَ لَكُمْ وَلَدٌ فَلَهُنَّ الثُّمُنُ. Quarter. طيب. Here. If I give you the answer, who takes an eighth?
The wife or the wives.
The wife or the wives?
No.
Here. When? Simple, just one condition. So now the husband's passed away.
No.
She'll take an eighth, providing that
there is kids or no kids.
yes, if there's kids,
kids.
she gets less now.
Okay.
Otherwise, she would have taken
No.
the quota. Excellent.
Jazakallahu khairan.
Khalas, you want to do Ashab al-Thuluthayn as well, or is that a bit too much?
Is that 4 conditions the same as
How many
Nisf?
aslan are from Ashab al-Thuluthayn? Those who are entitled to 2 quarters. Not 2 quarters, 2/3. It's not 2 quarters, by the way.
So it's the same as Nisf, but except for the husband.
Okay, you mean the husband, you take him out of the equation.
No.
So you have number 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, and the only tweak is instead of no sisters, there should be 2 sisters or more.
Naam, that there's an extra sister or more. Excellent. Fatah Allah alayk.
Ameen.
Fatah Allahu alayka.
Ameen. Ameen. Ameen.
Wallahi, that was amazing. Jazakallah.
Jazakallahu khair, Ustad.
Wallahi, that brings someone utter joy and happiness when he, because I know how much I struggled, right? Jazakallah khair. We have a brother that comes up and just gives us Ashab al-Thuluthayn. Those who are entitled to 2/3. Can you do it though? Huh? If you make a mistake, you get banned from the class. Huh? لا, come. Huh? Hey Jab, you're doing us again, Imam. تعال.
So as Muhammad said, you follow the tartib.
No, just give us the
Okay,
tartib. Don't
so
do a
bint.
shortcut like him.
So the first one was a bint, the daughter. She
Bint.
takes 2/3 if there's 2 or more sisters.
Firstly, tell us the bint, the daughter, how many conditions in order for her to take 2/3?
2.
Okay.
The 2 conditions are there are no brothers and she has 2 or more sisters.
Just say a sister or more.
Sister or more, okay, no. A sister or more. The next one is the granddaughter from the son. She has 3 conditions. If there's a sister or more, no brothers, and no one above her, basically. No one above her between her and the deceased.
the children of
The deceased.
Excellent.
Next one is the full sister. There's 4 conditions. Either there's a sister or more, no brothers, no children of the deceased, and no father or grandfather and above. The last one is the half sister.
And you didn't, and what was the final condition?
There's 4 for that one.
Oh, you said 4.
There's 4, yeah.
You said
No,
she has a sister or more.
Yeah, I mentioned
Okay.
that now. The last one is the sister from the father's side, and the condition is there's a sister or more, there's no brothers, there's no children of the deceased, and there's no father or grandfather, and the deceased doesn't have any full brothers or sisters.
فتح الله. ها تفضل. أصحاب الثلثين. ها يا نو your turn. ها تعال. No, you have to. It's free promotion as well. Sunnah match. Abdullah, you married? Huh? Found someone? Are you married? تعال تعال لا تعال خلاص طيب اللهم بارك ها طيب ابشر ابشر. ها؟ يعرفتوا أصحاب النصف زول. Next week is Abdullah al-Yemeni. He has to come with أصحاب النصف. Muhammad done it. Right? Even though subhanAllah he missed a couple, he put in the work, Jabir helped him, and Allahumma barik. Amazing. طيب. What about you? طيب. Ahmed's here as well, he's praying. We'll let him off. Today we're going to take brothers and sisters al-Umariyatayn. What does that sound like? Al-Umariyatayn. No one say al-Madrasa al-Umariyah. Huh? Al-Umariyatayn. What does the word sound like? Familiar word? He said Umar. You guys agree? Two Umars. Are there two Umars? Good. Huh? Jamil. This in the Arabic language is like saying kitabain, which means jewel. You have kitab. If you want to say two books, how do you say that in Arabic? Kitabain. Right? Darsain. Muhammadain. Right? In the Arabic language, if they want to refer to two Muhammads, they say Muhammadain or Muhammadani. Huh? Al-Umariyatani or Al-Umariyatayn, you could say. Okay, Mas'alatu Al-Umariyatayn. Is that what it is now, Ahmed, yeah? Walking late because you don't want to be pulled to the front. Huh? We're going to come to you at the end of the class. Huh? Mas'alatu Al-Umariyatayn. What does that mean? It means the two judgments that Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu made. There's two rulings that he passed, and he became known for it. That's why it's called Al-Umariyatayn or Al-Umariyatani. Mas'alatul Umariyatayn. طيب, what is this mas'ala? What is this judgment that he passed? Okay, the two scenarios is as follows. When you have in a scenario what does that say, brothers? Sisters? Husband, dad, mom. Wife, dad, mom. طيب, let's go off with what we studied previously. How much does the husband get? Generally speaking, how much does he get? Why? Because there are no children in the equation, right? Good. What about dad, mom? The dad what? Huh? Sudus or thuluth? Allah says this in the Quran. And I'm sure most of you guys have memorized it. وَلِأَبْوَيْهِ لكل واحد منهما السدس مما ترك إن كان له ولد فإن لم يكن له ولد وورثه أبواه فلأمه الثلث. Allah says clearly and explicitly, if there are no children in the equation, the mother takes the third and the father takes the remainder. طيب, what would the base number now be? You guys sure? How much does the husband get? The mom? Dad? Dad gets less than the mother? Huh? Dad takes less than the mother, brothers? Is that possible? But isn't this exactly what the Quran says? This is exactly what the Quran says. وَلِأَبْوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ مِمَّا إِنْ كَانَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ. If there is a child in the equation, how much does each person, I mean the father and the mother, get? A sixth each. However, there's no children, Allah says, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ وَلَدْ وَوَرِثَهُ أَبُوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُثُ. If there are no children in the equation, the mother takes the third and the father takes the rest. طيب, we have a bit of a problem though. You have the father and you have the mother, and you're giving the mother more than the father. In every scenario, this would apply, except in a case like this when there's only 3 of them in the equation, husband, dad, and mother. This scenario is an exception of that which is mentioned in the Quran. So, did everybody get that, right? This is the rule of thumb. That's what they call it, right? The consistent rule that we have, generally speaking, whenever there is what? A father, a mother, there's also a husband, and if there are others in the equation, this would apply. Does that make sense? This would apply. However, because there's only 3 of them, only them 3, in the scenario, the dynamics change a little bit. And this is an exception from the rule of thumb, or from that which we have been consistently taking, and also that which is mentioned in the Quran. If you have a scenario when there's only a husband, a father, the dad, and also the mom, the mother in the equation, you do the following. You give the husband his share, which is half. This is something that you just need to take at face value. Just memorize it. When you have a scenario, husband, dad, and mom, straight away the base number will be 6. Make sense? You just have to memorize it like that. You have a woman that passes away. She leaves behind a husband, dad and mom. There are no children in the equation, right? Khalas, mafi. There are no children in the equation. Straight away you take the base number. There isn't that calculations that I was giving you guys before. The first group and the second group. If you have a half with a third, or a half with a sixth, or a half of 2. La. Straight away. The base number is going to be how much? 6. It's just something you have to memorize. Half is what? 3. طيب. How much left? 3. What makes sense in this scenario? How much do we give to the dad? We flip it around. 2, 1. فهمت؟ كيف يعني؟ Huh? Good. Did everybody get that? Pretty straightforward, right? Here, straight away, the base number will be what? 6. You give the husband his fair share, which is a half, as Allah clearly mentions, وَلَكُمْ نِصْفُ مَا تَرَكَ أَزْوَاجُكُمْ إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُنَّ وَلَدٌ. There are no children in the equation. Give the husband his half straight away. Then you have the father and the mother that remain. You have the father and the mother that remain. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? You have 3 left out of the 6. You give the dad 2 and you give the mom 1. The father should always get more than the mother. Does that make sense, brothers? Pretty straightforward, right? So this is now an exception. This is now an exception from that which is consistent in the Quran. Hi. Yeah, you could just say that. Don't, if you want to, can you leave it? Yeah, just leave it like that. Just make sure you give them their amount. Okay? However, that which they do say is the following. ثلث الباقي. He takes what? The remainder. You can put R there. Does that make sense? What does ثلث الباقي mean? if you translate that literally into English, it means a third of what remains. A third of what remains. You might want to write that down. In this scenario, the mother takes a third of what remains. طيب, what remains after you give the husband his half? How much remains? What's a third of what's a third of 3? 1, which is a third of what remains, huh? Simple as that. A third of what remains. This is the official term that is used. Okay? This is the official term that is used when giving the mother her share in this type of scenario. الثلث الباقي, a third of what remains. واضح? If you have any question, please ask. I hope so far it's pretty straightforward. طيب. The roles are reversed here. The husband passes away here. He leaves behind wife, dad, and mom. And these are the 3 individuals who remain in the equation. Remember, if there are brothers and sisters, do they take anything? Why? Dad kicks them out. Huh? And there's a dad in the equation. And remember what we mentioned about the dad. He is what? A residuary beneficiary. It's my favorite word in English for fara'id. Huh? He would take what? The remainder, if there is anything left. How much does the wife get here? Why? There are no children in the equation. If we just go off with the rules that we've previously taken, how much does that get? Thuluth? It takes the remainder, right? The mum would, as Allah says in the Quran, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُث وَلِأَبْوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ إِن كَانَ فَإِن لَّمْ يَكُن لَّهُ وَلَدٌ وَوَرِثُهُ أَبُوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُث. Make sense? The dad would take the remainder, right? طيب. You have the mas'ala quarter and a third based on what we studied. What would the base number be? 12, right? Quarter you give to the wife. How much is that? A third of 12. That takes how much? Okay, sure. How much is that? 354. خلاص? Yeah, sure? Tape. 10,000. I want somebody to quickly calculate this. 10,000. How do you calculate it? You have 10,000 pounds. What do you do? What do you divide it by? 12. The all important base number. Okay, the all important base number. 10,000 divided by 12 is how much? Someone told me quickly. 833.333333, right? طيب. Multiply that by 2,000? Excellent. 3,500. Higher times by 5? Higher? And this one here? That comes up to 10,000, right? Just now hold this for a moment, because I'm about to tell you guys that which is an exception. That which is an exception. This is not how we calculate it when we have this kind of scenario. We have to do similar to that which is above. However, just do this for the moment. Let's write it here again. Can I leave it now? Do I have to bring it down? Sure, yeah? طيب, brothers and sisters, as I told you guys earlier, if you find a scenario that has these three individuals, what is the base number? 6 straight away, right? In this case, you know what we have? Wife, dad and mom. Straight away the base number will be, what do you think? 4. It will be 4. It'll be 4. It will be 4. But this is the way that you would normally calculate the giving each one of them their original amount as per Quran. However, these two scenarios are exemptions, are exceptions. طيب, the wife, how much? How much does the wife get if there's no children in the equation? How much? Which is? 1. How much you have left? 3. How much you give dad? 2. Mom? 1. It's more simpler than this, right? Pretty straightforward. So if someone now do the calculation for me, you got 10,000 divided by 4, and then multiply it by each individual's amount. Let's see if we get the same, and let's see which scenario gives the dad more. 2,000. Higher? 5,000. And this one? 2.5, right? In which scenario did he come out with more? So give him his amount. Does that make sense? This is what we would have to do. It's more simpler in its calculations. Now,
how do you understand the base number 4?
هكذا يا ابن عمر. That's what Umar Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu done. It's called مسألة العمريتين, and that's what you do. الله أعلم. الله أعلم. After you've given, I'll tell you guys very quickly. You have a quarter that is given to wife. There's 3 left. Does it make sense to give the mother more than the father? No, the dad, he's the breadwinner, he's in need of the money more, he's the one that should be looking after the... You guys with me? So there's 3 left. Give him more and give her that which remains. الثلث الباقي. Does that make sense? You need to get your eyes very used to scenarios where you have these 3, because what could easily happen is you rush into it, you think, oh khalas, let me give him his quota, let me give him this, let me give him that, let me give the individual that amount and whatever have you. But then you forget it is mas'alatul what? Al-Umariyah. One of the 2 judgments that Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu made. واضح؟ خلاص, I'm going to rub it out, yeah? I'm going to give you guys inshallah ta'ala some questions. somebody get me a chair? That's alright, yeah? No. جزاك الله خير. طيب. I'm going to sit down. It might be a long sit. Oh, can somebody come up and do that mas'ala? It's everything that we've studied. And you can tell me whether it is mas'alatul umariyataini or not. Can you come up? Yeah, you have to tell me also why you're giving each one their amount. If you make me stand there so everybody can see, how much would you give the husband?
I'm just looking. Daughter. The husband get rubu'.
Husband gets?
For quarter.
He said husband takes a quarter. Why?
Because it's a daughter.
Good.
The daughter and the sister get those will be thing, right? No, she would get.
Actually, one second. Let me make it a bit easier.
It's technically the thing, isn't it?
Actually, let me make you harder. How would you give the mom?
Sudus.
That's 6.
Sudus.
Oh, okay. Me, just write in English.
Daughter. No.
Shit, like you're fighting with the board.
No, but the daughter and the brothers, because it's Musaw, no Mu'asib, they share Asab.
This is the brother of the deceased.
I was thinking the daughter, okay.
No, otherwise I would have been son.
No. Brother of the deceased, he gets blocked. Daughter Nasr. Asab. صح?
So you gave the husband a quota. Why did you give him a quota?
Because this is a daughter.
There's a daughter. You gave the dad?
Asab. Was it? Asab.
What does Allah say in the Quran? Wali أبويه لكل واحد منهما الثلث. Allah says in the Quran.
No, but here the mother gets the sudus and the father will get what's left.
If there is anything left, right?
Yeah.
And put next to it plus the remainder.
Oh yeah. Okay. And obviously the father blocks the grandfather, the grandmother.
Good. The brothers. Give me the mic. I'm getting terrified myself. Huh? Take this as a principle. If you have a dad and a grandfather, can the grandfather take something when there's a father in the equation? No. It's common sense as well when you think about it. I pass away, I leave behind a father and a grandfather. Who's more entitled to my wealth? father. So the father blocks the grandfather out. طيب, I have a mother and also a grandmother. Does the grandmother take anything? No. Mother and the dad. And this is clearly mentioned in the Quran. وَلِأَبْوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ إِنْ كَانَ لَهُ وَلَدٍ. Does that make sense?
Three brothers will get blocked.
طيب, brothers. Why the brothers, what do they get? Huh? Why? Because there's a dad. As I mentioned time and time again, these things that I keep repeating, I'm hoping it's registering. I do that for a reason, me just repeating it. And sometimes I have these actions with my body, so you don't ever forget it. Why did I say it kicks him out? So you never forget it. And I do this with my foot, like he would do with the football. If there is a father in the equation, and there are what? Brothers and sisters. The father, Assalamu alaikum. I told all my brothers and my sisters, and my half brothers as well, even though they're still very young, as long as I'm alive, you guys get nothing. Sorry, as long as dad's alive, you guys get nothing. How many brothers do I have? Ibrahim, my brother from another mother, my older brother first, my brother that passed away, Allah yarhamah. Then there's another 3 brothers, and then I have another 3 sisters. Maybe what, 6? Well, I'm getting confused myself. Ala kulli hal, 8. There are 8 siblings. There are what? 8 siblings. None of them take a single penny. Abu Taymiyyah's wealth. If I pass away tomorrow and my father is alive. Why? Because the father, يخرجهم من النور إلى الظلمات. From light to darkness. They take nothing. Did everybody get that? These are meant to be, these things that I say is meant to kind of make you memorize these things, these points that I'm making. واضح? So let's kick him out of the equation, or kick them out of the equation. طيب. Grandfather, grandmother, anything? Who's left in the equation? It's pretty straightforward then, isn't it? Becomes a simple mas'ala. Sahih? Husband, dad, daughter. Remember the daughter? In order for her to take half, are the 2 conditions? No brother, no sister. Is there any brother and sister in the equation? Can you see how the conditions, come in extremely handy? When you have it memorized straight away. A daughter, okay. When does the daughter take her amount? Let me remember the conditions. ما فهمت. Did you guys get that?
So in this case, if we've done that and all those people got punched, we got blocked, and there was no daughter, we have to recalculate again because it's now in the same time.
Yes. Let's just say, for example, now. Okay, let's take the daughter out of the equation. What do we have here earlier? I'll put it in a different color. We had who? We had 3 brothers here. We had grandfather. And we had grandmother. Who else did we have here? Daughter, right? Forget about her for the moment. Based on what we've studied, we've always said brothers and sisters of the deceased, they take nothing as long as dad is alive. طيب. Also we mentioned that granddad and grandmother don't take anything providing that mom and dad are alive. صح؟ طيب. What happens now, brothers and sisters, when you take them out of the equation, you rub them out? Here, our brother Abdullah, he gave a quarter and a 6 and a 6. What do we have to do here? What do we have to do? What is it that we studied today? Mas'alatul Umariyya, which is husband, dad, mom. Wife, dad, mom. These are two judgments that Umar Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed. So, based on these fractions here, what would the base number be? Based on what we 12, right? But we said we have to do what we studied today. So based on that, what would the base number be? 6. It's just something that we have to know, accept, and memorize. Make sense? So can somebody come and tell? What's your name? You're from Brentford, right? Huh? What's that? Is that far? Okay. تفضل يا دبي. A question from the sisters? Yeah, go on.
What's up?
This one? The second one?
It's third of the
They've gone calculate then?
Oh, calculate what?
Okay, where's the base number?
Oh, 6. So,
You sure?
yeah.
What makes you 110% sure? Tell me, go on.
Because normally he'll get a quarter, right? Because
AK Thobes, huh?
I'll go for standard. I
tried, yeah, Adam, huh? Tried to give you promotion, but...
Ustadh, 112 mile in road.
He went, Alaman?
Yeah, probably looks familiar. Most likely.
Okay, so normally...
By the way, I'm not selling anything, huh? We're in the masjid. Adam.
Normally he gets a quarter, but because it's one of the rules that Umar passed, it's a half.
It's a half, good. So you gave the husband how much?
Half. So
3, صح?
Yeah.
Then?
And then the remainder goes to the dad, but then the mom gets a third.
Good. She gets a third of that which remains, huh? Yes, a third of what remains. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, right? That's exactly what I wanted to go through today. Wa jazakallahu khairan. One of the sisters is asking, please can you repeat the second scenario with the wife, dad, mum? Good. Because this was the next question that I wanted to ask the brothers to calculate. Can I have a wonderful volunteer to come up and to calculate this for me, please? Daniel. Wife, dad, mom. Brothers, أحمد, where are you? تفضل. أين أنت اليوم؟
61 sisters.
Yes. اللهم مبارك تفضل. ها؟ طيب, what do you do here? Why is it عمرية?
Because wife, dad, mom, dad blocks these.
Dad blocks?
Brothers, sisters, and the grandmother.
Is it the dad that blocks the grandmother or the mom blocks the grandmother?
The mom. The dad.
Huh?
What if it's the grandmother of the dad?
Okay, we're speaking about the grandmother of the mother.
It's the mother.
Okay, just cross all of them out then. Not just put a big X so it makes it easier for everyone else. Good. Hiya?
So the base number is 4.
Base number is 4. Why?
Because it's Umariyah.
Mas'alatul Umariyah. Hiya?
Yeah. Wife gets 1.
Why did she get 1?
Because it's Umariyah.
No. But what does Allah say in the Quran? Normally, generally speaking, every scenario, how much does the wife always get?
It's a quarter because there's no children.
Good. هذا هو. هيا.
The mother gets also. Yeah, the mother gets a third of what remains.
Third of what remains. Excellent.
Which is 1. So a third of what remains, which is 1. And the father gets the rest, which is 2.
Excellent. Allahumma barik. I'm looking for people to employ. Huh? طيب. Did everybody get that? Sisters, did you get that? I hope you guys got that. If you find a scenario, if you find an equation or a scenario where there is wife, dad, mum. There is wife, dad, mum. That are the inheritors. Okay? Wife, dad, mum. In the equation, straight away, you know that the base number is what? 4. You give the wife their amount. That never changes. Then you have 3 left. It doesn't make sense to give the mother more than the father. Just look at it this way. The breadwinner. Who's the breadwinner of the house? Who's the one who has to go and grind? It's the father, right? Or the husband? Sahih? So you have to give the father of the deceased more than the mother of the deceased. Huh?
There's a wife, dad, and mom in the equation, so automatically become the same as
If?
they're together in one equation, does it automatically?
Yes. Yes.
So
Provided that there's no other individual who is entitled to an amount.
what's the example?
Okay, good. Wife, dad, mum, daughter. Wife, dad, mum, daughter. Does the daughter get an amount? When does she take half? There's no siblings. Is there any siblings of hers? Can you see how it will change? Let's quickly write it. This wouldn't be Umariyah now. Why wouldn't it be? Because it's not just wife, dad, mum. You have now the daughter. This is a little bit. No. How much you give the wife? Can you see how it's already changed now? 8. Why 8? Huh? Because there's children in the equation. Excellent. What was your name again always? Abdul Fattah. Fatah Allah alayk ya Abdul Fattah. 8th. Daughter, how many daughter get? Why? No children. Straight away. Every time you see an individual in the equation, ask yourself, okay, I'll give half, I'll give this amount, this fraction, based on the condition. Give them their amount. How much?
The daughter gets a half.
Dad and mum?
The mother gets a third, dad gets the rest. Six.
6, right, because there's children in the equation. If there are no children in the equation, it's that third and remaining stuff. 6. Hi, what's the base number?
24.
And does anyone disagree? Does anyone object or contest Abdul Fattah's answer? Why is it 24?
Because an 8 gets in the second weeks.
Good. 24. How much here?
8 divided by 24, that's 4. That's 3.
صدح ما لبع.
صدح
ها أما أفر.
لا 24 divided by 8, that's 3.
Dad? 4.
12.
12 plus 4?
16, 20, 23. Abba gets them.
There's one left.
The dad gets it.
Excellent, because he's a residuary. Excellent, Abdul Fattah. Allahu Akbar. Hiya.
I was going to ask see here, if you take away the daughter, and there's ولد
حبيبي هذه مسألة ثانية بيجي بعدين. بعدين. ها؟ ولد الأم. I thought today I've taken the class أصحاب الثلث. Who's entitled to what? A third. I'm actually happy that we didn't get onto it. Because, خلاص, you take al-umriyatayn with you solidify that, because next week when we take those who are entitled to a third, like for example the mother, isn't she from ashab al-thuluth? From the companions of a third? One of the conditions would be, she would take a third if it's not a mas'ala umariyah. وعدم الفرع الوارث وأيضا عدم جمع من الإخوة. We'll come into inshallah ta'ala next week. Actually, what is the next week? Huh? 25th, I'm here. But the week after that, I'm in Australia with the kangaroos. Huh? So I've got a program there. I'll be missing one Monday. I think I can take a week off, right? Every week I've been here since we started, sahih? Inshallah ta'ala. But we'll come on to that inshallah ta'ala next week, and I'll give you enough time to go through the fractions. We should have taken 95% of the fractions and who is entitled to these amounts, and that is the majority of fara'id. And then maybe inshallah ta'ala I'll give you guys next week a whole load of homework. Give you guys a whole load of homework. We'll make a WhatsApp group, and amongst one another we can try and what? Calculate it bi'idhnillahi ta'ala and practice. Remember what I said, fara'id is one of those sciences where you have to take the student by the hand. It's like swimming. What happens? Someone's never swum before. You put him in the pool, what happens? Huh? Allah musta'an. So it's like driving as well. Can't just say, hey, tfaddal. Press the, what do you call it? The gas. No. You have to basically go through the masail and everything. Yeah. إن شاء الله تعالى صلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.